You're sitting there right now thinking that change takes time. You're believing that transformation is a slow process. You've been told your whole life that if you want to shift your circumstances, if you want to create a different reality, you need to be patient, you need to wait, you need to work hard for years and years. And I'm here to tell you that this is one of the biggest lies you've ever been sold. You don't understand how fast God can move in your life. You don't understand that the universe, the source, the infinite intelligence that created everything you see and everything you don't see operates outside of time. This force that breathes life into you every single morning, that beats your heart without you even thinking about it, that heals your cuts and bruises while you sleep. This same force can transform your entire existence in a single moment. Not tomorrow, not next year, right now. But here's what happens. We get stuck in our own thinking. We limit the infinite with our finite minds. We say things like, well, it's going to take me 10 years to get out of debt, or I'll never find love at my age, or I'm too old to start that business, or change is hard and slow. And every time you speak these words, every time you think these thoughts, you're creating that reality. You're telling the universe, this is what I believe, so this is what I want to experience. Let me tell you something that might shake up everything you think you know. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline. God doesn't wear a watch. The source energy that creates worlds doesn't look at a calendar and say, oh, this person needs to suffer for 5 more years before I help them out. That's not how it works. That's never been how it works. The only thing that determines how fast your life changes is your willingness to let go of the story you've been telling yourself about how long it should take. Think about this for a moment. You've had experiences in your life where everything changed in an instant, haven't you? Maybe you met someone and in that single conversation, your whole perspective shifted. Maybe you read something, heard something, saw something that completely altered the way you viewed yourself and your possibilities. Maybe you had a moment of clarity where suddenly, after years of struggle, everything just made sense. These moments prove to you that rapid transformation is not only possible, it's natural. But then what do? We dismiss these moments as luck, as coincidence, as rare occurrences. We go right back to our old programming that says real change takes time. And so we continue to create that experience for ourselves. We continue to live in the slow lane when the fast lane has been available to us all along. Now, I'm not talking about some magical thinking here where you just wish for something and it appears. That's not what this is about. What I'm talking about is understanding that when you align yourself with source energy, when you shift your consciousness, when you change your inner world, your outer world has no choice but to reflect that change. And this reflection can happen instantaneously. You see, everything in your life right now is a result of your consciousness, your relationships, your bank account, your health, your happiness. All of it is a mirror of what's going on inside you. And the beautiful thing about a mirror is that when you change what's in front of it, the reflection changes immediately. It doesn't take time for the mirror to update. It doesn't need to process the information. It just reflects the new reality instantly. This is how your life works. You are living in a universe that is completely responsive to your inner state. But most people have it backwards. They think they need to change their outer circumstances first, and then they'll feel better inside. They say, well, when I get the money, then I'll feel abundant. When I meet the right person, then I'll feel loved. When I lose the weight, then I'll feel confident. But it doesn't work that way. It's never worked that way. The truth is, you need to feel abundant first, and then the money comes. You need to feel loved first, and then the relationship appears. You need to feel confident first, and then your body transforms. The inner always creates the outer. Always. And when you really grasp this, when you really get this at a level beyond just intellectual understanding, your life can change so fast it'll make your head spin. But here's the challenge. We've been conditioned to believe in struggle. We've been taught that anything worthwhile requires years of hard work and sacrifice. We've been programmed to think that if it comes easy, it's probably not real or it won't last. And this conditioning keeps us stuck in patterns that don't serve us. It keeps us playing small when we were meant to play big. Let me ask you something. How long does it take for God to create a sunset? How long does it take for the universe to spin a galaxy? How much time does Source need to grow a tree from a tiny seed? Everything in nature operates on divine timing, and divine timing is always perfect. It's never too early, never too late. And you are part of nature. You are not separate from this creative force. You are an expression of it. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing, do you? You trust the process. You trust that the seed knows what to do. You trust that the soil, the water, the sun, all the elements will come together to create growth. And growth happens when it happens. Sometimes a seed sprouts in days, sometimes it takes weeks. But you don't stand there yelling at the seed, "You're taking too long, you should be a tree by now." That would be crazy, right? Yet this is exactly what we do with our own lives. We plant seeds of intention, and then we immediately start doubting, worrying, and complaining that nothing's happening. We forget that there's a gestation period for every creation. But here's the key. That gestation period has nothing to do with clock time. It has everything to do with your readiness, your openness, your alignment. When you're truly ready, when you've really shifted internally, when you've released the resistance and the doubt and the fear, things can manifest so quickly you won't believe it. I've seen people heal from diseases overnight. I've seen businesses take off in weeks after years of struggle. I've seen relationships transform in a single conversation. I've seen financial miracles happen in days, and every single time, it wasn't because the universe suddenly decided to hurry up. It was because the person finally got out of their own way. You are standing in your own way right now. You are blocking your own blessings with your beliefs about how long things should take. You are delaying your own miracles with your stories about limitation and lack. And the moment you drop these stories, the moment you stop insisting that change is slow and hard, that's the moment everything can shift. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, but I've been trying to change for years. I've been working on myself. I've been doing everything right, and nothing's changed. And I want to speak to that because it's important. If you've been trying for years and nothing's changed, it's because you've been trying from the wrong place. You've been trying to force change from a place of ego, from a place of not enough, from a place of fear and desperation. Real transformation doesn't come from trying harder. It comes from letting go. It comes from surrendering. It comes from trusting that the universe knows what it's doing and that you are always being guided, always being supported, always being loved. When you can relax into this knowing, when you can stop pushing and start allowing, that's when miracles happen. And let me be clear about something. When I talk about surrendering and letting go, I'm not talking about giving up or being passive. I'm talking about releasing your attachment to how and when things should happen. I'm talking about doing what's yours to do with joy and enthusiasm, and then trusting that the universe will handle the rest. I'm talking about taking inspired action rather than forced action. There's a huge difference. Forced action comes from fear. It's exhausting. It's stressful. It feels like you're pushing a boulder uphill. Inspired action comes from love. It's energizing. It's exciting. It feels like you're flowing downstream with the current. When you're taking inspired action, you're in alignment with Source. And when you're in alignment with Source, things happen fast. Doors open, people appear, opportunities show up, synchronicities multiply. It's like the whole universe is conspiring to help you. But when you're taking forced action, when you're operating from fear and lack, you're swimming against the current. You're telling the universe, I don't trust you, I have to make this happen on my own. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, reflects that back to you. It says, okay, if you want to do it alone, go ahead. Good luck with that. And then you wonder why everything feels so hard. Here's a truth that might be hard to hear. Your struggle is optional. Your suffering is a choice. Not consciously, of course. Nobody wakes up and says, I think I'll struggle today. But unconsciously, through your beliefs and your habitual thoughts and your conditioning, you are choosing to make things harder than they need to be. What if you made a different choice? What if you decided right now that you're done struggling? What if you chose to believe that everything you need is already on its way to you? What if you trusted that the universe is friendly, that life is for you, not against you? What if you opened yourself up to the possibility that your greatest good could show up in the next 5 minutes? Because it could. It really could. The person who could change your life could walk through your door today. The idea that could make you a fortune could pop into your head tonight. The healing you've been praying for could happen in your sleep. The relationship you've been wanting could begin with a single phone call. There is no rule that says you have to wait. There is no cosmic law that requires you to suffer for a certain amount of time before you're allowed to be happy. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the belief that it has to be difficult. The only obstacle is your own mind. and your mind can change in an instant. One thought, one decision, one shift in perspective, and everything is different. Think about the people you admire, the ones who've created extraordinary lives. Do you think they're smarter than you? Do you think they're more deserving? Do you think the universe loves them more? Of course not. The only difference between them and you is that they believed in possibilities that you haven't allowed yourself to believe in yet. They gave themselves permission to receive what you're still telling yourself you can't have. And here's the beautiful thing, you can give yourself that permission right now. You don't need anyone else's approval. You don't need to wait until you're perfect or until you've figured everything out. You don't need to earn your worthiness. You are worthy simply because you exist. You are deserving simply because you are an expression of source energy. There is nothing you need to do or be or accomplish to deserve a good life. You already deserve it. But you have to claim it. You have to step into it. You have to be willing to receive it. And this is where most people get stuck. We say we want change. We say we want miracles. We say we want our lives to transform. But deep down, we don't really believe we deserve it. Deep down, we're carrying around all this guilt and shame and unworthiness. And as long as we're carrying that around, we're not open to receive. It's like standing in front of a fountain with your hands in your pockets complaining that you're thirsty. The water's right there. The abundance is right there. The love, the joy, the prosperity, the health, it's all right there, flowing constantly from source, but you have to cup your hands. You have to open yourself up. You have to be willing to receive. And receiving is an art. It's a skill. Most of us are much better at giving than receiving. We've been taught that it's better to give than to receive, that receiving is selfish or weak. But that's just more programming that keeps us stuck. The universe is trying to give to you constantly. Life is trying to bless you at every turn. But if you're not willing to receive, if you're blocking the flow with your beliefs about unworthiness, then you're creating your own poverty consciousness. You're creating your own lack. So how do you shift this? How do you open yourself up to receive? How do you align yourself with the fast-moving current of divine grace? It starts with a decision. It starts with choosing in this moment to believe something different. It starts with saying to yourself, I am willing to let go of my old story. I am willing to believe that miracles are possible for me. I am willing to trust that the universe has my back. And then you watch what happens. You start noticing things. You start seeing signs. You start experiencing synchronicities. Little things at first, maybe. A phone call from an old friend. A check in the mail you weren't expecting. A compliment from a stranger. These are the universe's way of saying, yes, I hear you. I'm responding. Keep going. But here's where most people mess up. They experience these little miracles and they dismiss them. They say, oh, that's just coincidence. That's just luck. That doesn't mean anything. And by dismissing them, they shut down the flow. They tell the universe, never mind, I don't really believe in this after all. What you need to do instead is celebrate every little sign, acknowledge every synchronicity, express gratitude for every small miracle. Because when you do that, you're telling the universe, yes, more of this, please. I'm paying attention. I'm receiving. Keep it coming. And the universe will respond by sending you bigger and bigger miracles until you're living in a constant state of wonder and amazement. This is how fast God can move in your life. Not someday when you're ready, not after you've done more work on yourself, not when you've suffered enough or learned enough lessons. Right now, today, this moment. The only question is, are you willing to let it happen? Are you willing to release your grip on how you think things should be and allow them to be even better than you imagined? Are you willing to stop insisting on your timeline and trust in divine timing? Are you willing to let go of the struggle and step into ease? Are you willing to receive the abundance that's trying to reach you? Because I promise you, the moment you truly open yourself up, the moment you really say yes to the life that's waiting for you, things will start moving so fast you'll barely be able to keep up. Opportunities will flood in. People will show up to help you. Resources will appear out of nowhere. Doors that were locked for years will suddenly swing wide open. And you'll look back on this moment and wonder why you waited so long to allow it. But don't waste time looking back. Don't waste energy regretting the past or wishing you'd known this sooner. The past is gone. It's done. You can't change it. All you have is now, and now is where all your power is. Now is where the magic happens. Now is where God moves. Every single morning, you wake up to a brand new reality. Every single moment is an opportunity to choose differently. You're not stuck. You're not limited by your history. You're not bound by your mistakes or your failures or your fears. Those are all just stories, and stories can be rewritten. So write a new story. Tell yourself a different tale. Instead of, this is going to take forever, say, I am open to rapid transformation. Instead of, nothing ever works out for me, say, the universe is always working in my favor. Instead of, I'm too old, too young, too broken, too whatever, say, I am exactly where I need to be and everything is unfolding perfectly. and watch how your life responds. Watch how reality shifts to match your new story, because it will. It has to. That's the law. That's how this whole thing works. Your outer world is always reflecting your inner world. Always. No exceptions. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what about all the bad things that happen? What about the challenges and the difficulties? Are you saying I created those too? And the answer is yes and no. You didn't consciously create them, but your consciousness did contribute to creating them. Not as punishment, but as a learning opportunity. Not because you're bad, but because you're expanding. Every challenge you face is an invitation to grow. Every difficulty is pushing you toward your greater good. Every obstacle is redirecting you toward a better path. But you don't have to make this process long and painful. You can learn quickly. You can evolve rapidly. You can take the lesson and move on. You don't have to keep repeating the same patterns over and over for years. The universe is always speaking to you, always guiding you, always showing you the way. But you have to be willing to listen. You have to be willing to pay attention. You have to be willing to follow the signs even when they don't make logical sense. Because divine guidance doesn't always look logical to the human mind. It often looks like a detour or a delay or a disappointment. But if you trust it, if you follow it, you'll eventually see that it was leading you exactly where you needed to go. I've seen this happen so many times in my own life and in the lives of countless others. The job that fell through led to an even better opportunity. The relationship that ended made space for true love. The business that failed taught the lessons that led to massive success. The illness that terrified became the wake-up call that changed everything for the better. None of it was random. None of it was punishment. It was all guidance. It was all God moving, even when it didn't feel like it at the time. So when things aren't going the way you planned, instead of resisting, instead of complaining, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what is this teaching me? Where is this leading me? How is this serving my highest good? When you ask better questions, you get better answers. When you look for the blessing in the challenge, you find it. And when you find it, the challenge dissolves. It doesn't have to hang around anymore because you've received the message. This is how you speed up your evolution. This is how you accelerate your growth. This is how you let God move quickly in your life. You stop resisting what is. You stop fighting against reality. You stop insisting that things should be different than they are. Instead, you accept what is, you find the gift in it, and you move forward with faith and trust. And here's what happens when you do that. The universe sees that you're ready for more. It sees that you can handle greater blessings. It sees that you're not going to waste time complaining and resisting. So it sends you more opportunities, more abundance, more love, more joy. It accelerates your good because you've proven that you're ready to receive it. But when you're constantly in resistance, when you're always fighting against what is, when you're spending all your energy complaining about how unfair life is, you're not ready. You're not open. You're not in a state of receptivity. And so the universe waits. Not because it wants to punish you, but because it knows that giving you more while you're in that state would just lead to more suffering. It's like giving $1 million to someone who hates money. They wouldn't enjoy it. They'd find a way to lose it or sabotage it. They're not a vibrational match for wealth, so they can't sustain it. Same thing with love. If you don't love yourself, if you don't believe you're worthy of love, you can't sustain a healthy relationship. You'll sabotage it. You'll push it away because you're not a match for it yet. So the work isn't about getting what you want. The work is about becoming a match for what you want. The work is about shifting your vibration, changing your beliefs, transforming your consciousness, and when you do that inner work, the outer results follow automatically. They have to. That's the law. And here's the exciting part. That inner work doesn't have to take years. You can shift your consciousness in a moment. You can change a belief in an instant. You can transform your vibration with a single decision. I've seen it happen. I've experienced it myself. One moment of clarity, one powerful insight, one genuine shift in perspective, and everything changes. Think about it. How long does it take to change your mind about something? How much time does it require to choose a different thought? How many years do you need to decide to believe something new? None. It's instant. And if consciousness can shift instantly, and consciousness creates your reality, then your reality can shift just as quickly. But again, you have to be willing. You have to be open. You have to stop clinging to your old identity, your old story, your old limitations. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, to try something new, to believe in possibilities you've never allowed yourself to consider before. And I know that's scary. The unknown is scary. Change is scary. Even when it's positive change, even when it's what we say we want, it's still scary because it's unfamiliar. We'd rather stay in our comfortable misery than risk the discomfort of transformation. At least misery is familiar. At least we know what to expect. But let me tell you something, that fear is just the ego trying to keep you safe. It's trying to protect you from what it perceives as danger. But growth isn't dangerous. Evolution isn't dangerous. Becoming more of who you really are isn't dangerous. What's dangerous is staying stuck, staying small, staying in patterns that don't serve you just because they're comfortable. Real danger is living a life that doesn't reflect your truth. Real danger is getting to the end of your time here and realizing you never really lived, you never took the chances, you never bet on yourself, you never let yourself receive the good that was always available to you. That's what you should be afraid of. Not change, not transformation, not miracles happening too fast. So make a choice right now. Choose to let God move quickly in your life. Choose to open yourself up to rapid transformation. Choose to believe that everything you need can show up faster than you ever thought possible. Choose to trust that the universe has something better in mind for you than anything you could plan for yourself. And then watch what happens. Watch how life responds to your new openness. Watch how doors begin to open. Watch how people show up. Watch how opportunities multiply. Watch how what once seemed impossible becomes not only possible but inevitable. Because that's what happens when you align yourself with Source. That's what happens when you get out of your own way. That's what happens when you stop limiting the infinite with your finite thinking. The floodgates open. The abundance flows. The miracles happen, and they happen fast. Faster than you ever imagined they could. You don't understand how fast God can move in your life because you've never really allowed it. You've been putting up barriers, creating delays, insisting on struggle. But what if you stopped? What if you just surrendered? What if you just said, okay, universe, I'm ready. Show me what you've got. Show me how good it can get. Show me how fast things can change when I get out of the way. That's all it takes. That simple willingness, that genuine openness, that authentic surrender, and then everything shifts. Then the real magic begins. Then you start living the life you were always meant to live, the life that's been waiting for you all along, the life that God always wanted you to have. So stop waiting, stop preparing, stop thinking you need to be more ready or more worthy or more anything. You're ready now, you're worthy now, you're enough now. Open your hands, open your heart, open your mind, and receive. Receive the blessings, receive the miracles, receive the abundance, receive the love, receive the joy. It's all there for you. It's always been there for you. You just have to let it in. And when you do, when you finally let it in, you'll understand. You'll understand how fast God can move. You'll understand that time is not the obstacle you thought it was. You'll understand that you've always been one decision away from a completely different life. And you'll wonder why you waited so long. But don't waste time wondering. Just receive, just allow, just be, and watch your life transform before your very eyes faster than you ever dreamed possible, more beautifully than you ever imagined, more abundantly than you ever thought you deserved, because you do deserve it. You always did. And now, finally, you're letting yourself have it. This is your time. This is your moment. This is when everything changes. Not someday, not when you're ready, right now, because you are ready. You've always been ready. God has been ready since the beginning of time. The only question was, when would you be willing? And the answer is now. The answer is this moment. The answer is yes. Say yes to the miracles. Say yes to the transformation. Say yes to the rapid, wonderful, amazing changes that are already on their way to you. Say yes to God moving fast in your life, because God is ready to move. The universe is ready to deliver. Source is ready to bless you beyond measure. All you have to do is stop saying no. All you have to do is open up and receive. All you have to do is believe. So believe. Believe in